What is up, race fans? Welcome back to Trust the Profits. This is Doubling Down. I am your host, Colin Sheehan, running a little bit solo today for this episode, a nice little special Monday edition of Doubling Down, episode 99, the Wayne Gretzky of Doubling Down, as we move towards making the Belmont Stakes episode this week, episode 100. It'll be really special. I'll have a lot of guests will be coming back that I've had over the course of the 99 episodes to be a part of episode 100. So you're going to hear from some great handicappers as they put together their daily double for Belmont Stakes up at Saratoga. What a special weekend it's going to be with the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival. Before we get to that, we will pull up the standings. We like to keep track of how we've done. And we just missed out at Churchill Downs in the Blame Stakes. Vinny wasn't here last week. Sean Patrick Nolan was with me as Mystic Dan got home in leg 2, but in leg 1, Mercante pulled the upset over Brilliant Birdie and Laganos. I was a little surprised to see Brilliant Birdie go to the front end. It ended up giving Mercante that target that me and Sean had talked about, thinking that Mercante needed a target in order to be successful. Ended up sitting off Brilliant Birdie, and Laganos made a nice run late, so my two horses finished second and third in the first leg, knocking me out, but could always get back at it, as they say. What a weekend that we have up in New York, as I was talking about. We're going to get the rematch of the Derby and Preakness winner. Of course, Mystic Dan was the first Kentucky Derby winner to come back and actually win a race in a really long time. And now, maybe within the course of a week, with Sovereignty going right up to Saratoga to prepare for the Belmont Stakes, maybe we'll have two Kentucky Derby winners over the course of the span of a week. Not only that, you got Good Cheer looking to remain undefeated in the Acorn on Friday, Raging Seas running in the Ogden Phipps, Far Bridge in the Manhattan, of course, trained by Christophe Clement. What a story that would be to go up and win at Saratoga on this weekend. Endlessly is also in that race, a horse that Sean and I have talked a lot about on the channel. The Woody Stevens ends up being an excellent race with Chancer McPatrick cutting back to one turn, a distance many people believe he'll be very successful at. Citizens Bulls in that race. Colloquial, that's the George Weaver trained horse who put up that massive figure in February. It's been pointed to this race all along. That's always a dangerous angle. So stay tuned right here for the channel. We'll have plenty of content as we go throughout the week, including, as I mentioned, that very special edition of Doubling Down. But before we get to that weekend, I wanted to do a little special Assiniboia Downs Doubling Down for this Tuesday. Be sure to join the channel here for Tuesday Night Lights with Sean and Tim as they bet live at Assiniboia Downs. It's a great show. It's a little bit like Thursday night, but we get to share the races. We love the coverage we were able to provide for Assiniboia Downs. So I said, hey, why not? Why not make episode 99 a little help for the boys? We're going to go with race 6. It is the SS Pee Wee Stakes, 3-year-olds and up, going 5 furlongs on the dirt. Jeff Fafa coming in, a horse we love here on the channel. It's actually his third race already in 2025. We'll pull up the past performances for you. It's interesting because getting quick runs. Ran May 13th, May 21st, and now comes back June 3rd. You also get the 2023 stakes winner in Chicago Gray. That's the first time I really started paying attention to Assiniboia Downs, both here through Trust the Profits and back when I was playing some Stable Duel. I remember the impressive performances that Chicago Gray had in that year. We'll take a look at the RaceLens race projections. Kind of the first place I like to look. What do my win percentages look like? And when you see them this close, 19, 18, 16, 13, and 10 for your top 5 horses, it immediately tells me that we have a pretty competitive race here. And I think, in fact, you do. RaceLens will also give you the pace. And it says that lots of horses with early lick lined up for this one. So it may be the ideal spot of a horse coming from just off the pace. And I think that is the case because that's where I landed with my on-top pick. And for my on-top pick, I'm going to go to the number 1, Brody Streak. This horse came back from off the layoff as an 11-1 winner on May 13th up at Assiniboia Downs. That race was going 5 furlongs. He was in that race against a couple of the competitors that come back in this stakes race. He put up a 92 Equibase speed figure, which was actually near his career top of 94. So it's possible off the long layoff, having not run since November as a 6-year-old, he regresses a little bit. Sometimes they kind of get amped up for that first race off the bench and then maybe have a bounce. I'm hoping not. Last year, this horse put up back-to-back strong efforts off the bench. Real horses up at Assiniboia Downs always worry me a little bit. But one thing I love here is the jockey Rashad Knights aboard this horse the last 7 times has 3 wins. And Rashad is actually your leading jockey right now up at Assiniboia Downs, tied for wins. But when you go down by earnings, he's currently in first place. So Brody Streak is the one I'm going to use on my ticket. The other horse I'm going to use is coming out of that exact same race. That is the number 4 Upstriker. This is a 5 furlong race. He closed really well along with Brody Streak. We'll show you the on that race. And here they come from the five. Number 3 was really getting tired here. And here comes Brody Streak and Upstriker on the outside. Brody Streak is the gray horse, and the two of them just look really impressive here, closing out this race, including a nice little gallop out for the two of them. So Upstriker and Brody Streak are the two that I'm going to use. I kind of envision maybe your 7 and your 8, Jeff Fafa and Chicago's Gray dueling, and maybe the 2 as well. The 2 is a horse that really likes to be on the front end. And if the 3 of these horses get out and can go at it, I'm hoping that we have a very similar setup to that replay that I just showed you, where you get the 1 and the 4 closing late to take it home. The 1 is 4-1, and your 4 is 3-1. When we look at that RaceLens setup, if you go by adjusted true odds, neither of those horses pop. You can see by the yellow. They think that the 4 should be 10-1 and the 1 should be 7-1. We'll see. I'm hoping with that early speed, the 1 and the 4 become dangerous in here. The number 3 comes off the bench with only 1 work, so really wasn't interested in the number 3, Mr. Stang. The number 2 was the other horse that was tiring in that stretch of that race I just showed you. The horse has wins on all 3 surfaces, turf, dirt, and poly. He is early speed. It's also dangerous to see that his average class and his average speed are 1 out of 8 for this race. Shipping in from Turfway, maybe he'll be more comfortable second time here. Does make me nervous with my picks, but I can only use, in my opinion, 2 horses in this race, especially at the prices I'm using. So we are going to go ahead and use the 1 and the 4 for the first leg of Tuesday night's late daily double. We'll flip it over to number race 7. This is a claiming race for 7,500. They're going 6 furlongs for 3-year-olds and up. We have a field of 9. We'll do the same thing I did last time, which is jump into RaceLens and go to the true odds and look at the win percentage. 4 and the 1, 43%, 32%. Immediately signifies to me that we probably have a couple horses here who are going to be ultra competitive, and we may need to find ourselves around. So with that, we'll take a look at those. The number 1 is Gallant Oak, a horse who we're very familiar with, who's been running up at Assiniboia Downs. This will be his 20th race up at Assiniboia Downs, but the one thing that jumps out to me is a lot of second places, not only at Assiniboia Downs, but also in his career. 39 races, 14 second place races with 5 victories, 2 wins up at Assiniboia Downs. He won last year, he won his last race. That was September 23rd. And going back to the year before that, also had a race that he won August 7th. So a little bit later in the year is when Gallant Oak has had the success up at Assiniboia Downs. Antonio Whitehall's aboard with a morning line of 5-2. I tried to go somewhere else. The number 2 is 0 for 11 up at Assiniboia Downs, so it was a toss to me. The number 3 hasn't raced since July and hasn't won since 2022, so it was another horse I had a hard time getting behind, which leads us to number 4, Designated Hitter. The two horses I told you that RaceLens really loves, the 1 and the 4. I am going to land on the 4. This horse won off a big layoff last time out. Prior to that, was running at Woodbine in November. Comes up to Assiniboia Downs on May 20th in a claiming 7,500 level race. So basically the same level, dueled on the outside at the turn, and was able to close it that day with Bino aboard. We'll show you the replay of the stretch run there. This horse actually hasn't run at 6 furlongs, has a victory at 5.5 and a victory at 6.5. Here's the stretch run of Designated Hitter, closing nicely at a price, 6-1. They went 24 and 47, and then that last race, I was impressed by Designated Hitter, and this was the horse that I immediately landed on. I thought the 5 was too slow. The figures are in the 40s and 50s. Number 6, 32-1. Last time out was in that same race that we just talked about. And sorry, I should have left that replay on for you because this horse was closing really nicely. Is the number 6 here. And look how wide. I'm sorry, it wasn't the number 6. Number 5. Got confused looking at the odds there. The number 5, we'll go back to that turn. You can see him in the back here at 30-1 in this race. He's number 6 on Tuesday. But at 32-1, this horse, look how wide this horse goes coming around this turn. And I just thought really closed in this race really nicely. Obviously not getting the same price that you had on that particular day, but you can see the run here from the number 5. Wasn't going to be a winner. Remember, this race was a little bit shorter as well, so when they go a little bit longer on Tuesday, I'm hoping that the number 6 Happy Camper, who's coming in at 9-1, could be a little bit of an interesting play here, especially going second off of the layoff. Number 7 is 5 for 24 at Assiniboia Downs, 3 for 5 at the distance. Gets the bug jockey up, who only has 1 victory so far up at Assiniboia Downs. Then the 8 and the 9. Again, the 9's interesting with Rashad Knights getting aboard at 5-1, but from a steep speed figure standpoint, really just wasn't for me. So for my daily double for Assiniboia Downs for Tuesday, I am going to use that 6 Happy Camper in the second leg. See if we can get home that price. We'll go 1-4 with the 4-6. It'll cost you $4 for Tuesday night. Be sure to tune in to Tuesday night for Tim and Sean Patrick Nolan's live episode of Tuesday Night Lights. You can be active in the chat. Tell them who you like. They'll give you all of the breakdown for those. And stay tuned this whole week for all of our coverage on Belmont Racing Festival. Until next time, I'm Colin Sheehan. This is Doubling Down. Good luck.